Latest updates on Australian seasonal worker, or part of the Pacific Labour Scheme. In this video update, we will talk about latest updates on seasonal worker, or part of the Pacific Labour Scheme. Updates on Subclass 403 visa holders in the Pacific Labour Scheme. Under the Pacific Labour Scheme, you can apply for Subclass 403 visa, where the Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade will endorse you and your worker to allow your participation in the scheme. This visa allows you to stay in the country lawfully and continue working until you are able to return to your country. Updates on Subclass 403 visa holders in the Seasonal Worker Program. Although no extensions are granted, but the Australian government has introduced new changes, keeping in mind the effect of COVID-19 in different sectors. You may be eligible for a COVID-19 pandemic event visa if your visa will expire in 90 days or less. Your visa has already expired, but no longer than 28 days ago. You are working in a COVID-19 critical sector of healthcare, aged and disability care, childcare, or agriculture and food processing. The same seasonal worker program and Pacific Labour Scheme arrangements, including those relating to employers, will also apply to the new visa. Updates on Subclass 408 COVID-19 pandemic event visa holders under the Seasonal Worker Program, or Pacific Labour Scheme. Applicants whose current COVID-19 pandemic event visa is near to its expiration date may be eligible to apply for another COVID-19 pandemic event visa if you wish to remain in Australia, to continue working in a critical sector under the Seasonal Worker Program, or Pacific Labour Scheme, or you are unable to depart Australia before the expiry of your visa due to COVID-19 travel restrictions. What if you are working for another employer? Workers employed in the Pacific Labour Scheme or Seasonal Worker Program are allowed to work for one sponsor or approved employer, unless you are permitted to change by the Department of Home Affairs. Although the workers can move between sponsors or approved employers during the pandemic, but for this shift the employer must contact the Department of Education, Skills and Employment if you are a seasonal worker, the Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade if you are working in the Pacific Labour Scheme. Even under these temporary arrangements, it is important that employees abide by the Australian workplace laws. These workers will be given the same rights under Australian workplace law as offered to other employees. Updates on Visa Condition 8503, no further stay. During the COVID-19 period, the Condition 8503, no further stay, attached to the Subclass 403 visa in the Seasonal Worker Program, will automatically waived to let you to apply for a COVID-19 pandemic event visa. You will not need to apply for a waiver of Condition 8503. Information on the laws for each state and territory can be found at the links mentioned below, in the description and comments box. This is the end of today's video update. We hope you found today's video useful. Thanks for watching.